What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Don't focus in on the meteoric rise to the top for Tampa's Tyler Johnson, who's got 12 goals in the playoffs and has been absolutely amazing all playoff run long for the Lightning. When you look at the season he had for Tampa, going back to the start, having 72 points in 77 games, after last year being a Calder Trophy finalist, really showing his skill set at the World Championships last year and showing that he belonged in the NHL. I mean, this is a guy that went undrafted in the NHL draft, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and was an 11th round pick by Spokane, essentially because he was a local kid. I was like, hey, let's just ref the local kid, make the local youth hockey teams happy, and to become something great. And climbed the ladder in Spokane, earned his way onto the USWJC squad not once but twice. The first year they were disappointing year with I think Colin Wilson, Van Riemsdyk, and Jordan Schrader were the top line. They got all the ink in that tournament and they ended up falling flat. And then second year, he was amazing. They won the gold medal. Team USA's first in 6 or 7 years, and he was just amazing. That I think he had 3 or 4 goals and just showcasing an amazing skill set. And I remember I was a senior in high school at the time, and one of the kids asked me, one of my buddies who really wasn't a hockey fan but was watching the WJC, and he's like, "Who drafted this Johnson kid?" I'm like, "No one. He's too small. Probably won't make it the show." And then he goes back, does an OA year, and in Spokane dominates the dub. Earns a contract with Norfolk and later Syracuse in the AHL, dominates, gets a brief cup of coffee with Tampa, and then him and John Cooper, former AHL head coach, kind of come up together, and the rest is history. I mean, this kid shows you why there are holes in the draft process. You can't bank on hockey. You can't bank on these picks. Look at that line. I mean, he went undrafted. Nikita Kucherov fell essentially because he's Russian, and Andrei Palat was passed over a couple times and went in the 7th round. I think he was like a third to last pick in 2011. I mean, the second anyone figures this out to an exact science, let me know, because I think it's physically impossible. And again, he's not the biggest guy, but he plays tough. He's a tough, just amazing kid out there. Can play in all situations and can do it all. And he's just scratching the surface. I mean, he'll be 25 this summer. It's just a steal by Steve Eisman to land this kid in Tampa. It's almost like the rich get richer when he signed up as an undrafted free agent. I mean, you have a Steven Stamkos, you have a Victor Hedman, all these high draft picks, and then, oh, by the way, here you go, this kid nobody drafted. He's really, really, really goddamn good. It's hysterical. But it is what it is, and I can't wait to see what he does against this Blackhawks defense. I mean, you've seen the Rangers series. He had been dominant, throughout the Detroit, Montreal, at the beginning of the Rangers series, and then they started to try to shut him, the triplets line down, and then Steven Stamkos went off and started scoring. If teams are focusing on shutting him down and giving Steven Stamkos, secondary defenses to go up against, it's not a good recipe for success because Stammer will beat you, and I think it speaks volumes about the amount of respect these teams are starting to have for that line, particularly Johnson being the straw that serves the drink. So, again, I'm Team Tyler Johnson all the way. I think he's just, scratching the surface, and he's the best is yet to come. I hope U.S., when the Olympics happen in 2018, NHL players can go, because something about him, Patrick Kane, Jack Eichel, Johnny Gaudreau, be a lot of skill on that line. Obviously, Kane being the one that's played in the Olympics before. Real, just talented group of forwards for Team USA. So, knock on wood. And maybe I'll have a Stanley Cup ring to go with that potential Olympic gold. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ on Tyler Johnson's rise to the top. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.